if not the hoof, he is unclean to you. And the hair, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean to you. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall you not eat, and their carcass shall you not touch. They are unclean to you. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall you eat.
Okay.
You know, that kind of tell me this talking about healthy eating, really.
All right.
I always tell you, eat fish, seafood, stay away from that pork. What are you talking about? Pork and beef.
Wait,
so I guess,
okay. We coming to Red Lobster. We coming to Red Lobster. So keep reading. Keep on reading.
And all that have not,
Red Lobster.
All that have fins and scales in the sea, and in the of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the water, they shall be an abomination unto you.
Oh boy.
They shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses in abomination. Whatsoever have no fins, nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you. And these are they which shall have in abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination. The eagle, and the ossifrage, and the osprey, and the vulture, and the kite after his kind.
My.
Every raven after his kind, like crows and stuff like that. And the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind. And the little owl, and the cormorant, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gier eagle, and the stork, and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. All fowls that creep going upon all four shall be an abomination unto you. Yet these may eat of every flying, creeping thing that goeth upon all four, which have legs above their feet, to leap withal upon the earth.
Okay.
Even these of them ye may eat, the locust after his, and the bald locust after his kind, and the bee after his kind, grasshopper after his kind.
Well, y'all can eat grasshoppers and beetles.
You know, people over in other foreign countries, those are delicacies. Grasshopper, they eat those.
I'm gonna run over them with my mower just as show. The big black ones.
Thank God for Jesus.
You know those. You know, every spring, every year, we used to go down City Limit Street, and the big yellow, black.
Yeah.
And some of them were red and had red, but they were. Is saying in the they could be. Okay, keep going.
Okay. All other flying things which have 4 feet shall be an abomination unto you. And for these ye shall be unclean. Whosoever toucheth the carcass of them shall be unclean unto the even. And whosoever beareth aught of the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean unto the even. The carcasses of every beast which divide the hoof and is not cloven footed, nor cheweth the cud, are unclean unto you. Everyone that toucheth them shall be unclean. And whatsoever goeth upon his paws among all manner of beasts that go on all 4, those are unclean unto you. Who toucheth their carcass clean unto them. He that beareth the carcass shall wash those and be unclean unto them. They are unclean unto you. These also shall be unclean unto you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth, the weasel, and the mouse, and the tortoise after his kind, and the ferret, and the chameleon, and the lizard, and the snail.
They're saying don't eat those.
These are unclean to you. All that creep. Whosoever doth touch them when they be dead, be unclean unto the even. And upon whatsoever of them they are dead, fall it be unclean, whether it be in a vessel of wood, or raiment, or skin, or sack. Whatsoever vessel it be, wherein any work is done, it must be put into water, and it shall be unclean until the evening, so it shall be cleansed. And every earthen vessel whereinto any of them falleth, whatsoever is in it shall be unclean, and ye shall break it. Of all meat which may be eaten, that on which such water cometh shall be unclean.
Okay.
All drink be drunk, and every shall be unclean. And everything whereupon any part of their carcass falleth shall be unclean with the oven or ranges. They shall be broken down, for they are unclean and shall be unclean unto you. Nevertheless, a fountain or pit, wherein there is plenty of water, shall be clean.
Okay.
But that which toucheth their carcass shall be unclean.
If something dead in the water, don't drink that.
And if any part of their carcass fall upon any sowing seed, which is to be sown, it shall be clean. But if any water be upon the seed, and any part of their carcass fall thereon, it shall be unclean unto you.
Y'all better hear me.
And if any beast of which ye may eat die, he that toucheth the carcass thereon shall be unclean unto the even.
Don't be eating the look that cow or that bull might but was sick and then fell dead. Well, let's eat them up, y'all. Why we can? Why it's a fresh death? No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's what God said. Okay, keep going.
And he that eateth of the carcass of it shall wash his clothes and be unclean unto the even. He also that beareth the carcass of it shall wash his clothes and be unclean unto the even. And every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth shall be an abomination. It shall not be eaten. Whatsoever goeth upon the belly, and whatsoever goeth upon all four,
that's a snake.
Whatsoever hath more feet among all creeping things that creep upon the earth,
them legs.
Ye shall not eat.
Don't be eating them
for they
legs.
are an abomination. 43. Ye shall not make yourselves abominable with anything that creepeth, neither shall ye make yourselves unclean with them, that ye should be defiled thereby. Now I've gotten to 44 that you asked me to read.
Yeah, we already read that. God said, be ye holy, even as I am holy. Okay, go read 46.
This is the law of the beast and of the fowl and of every living creature that moveth in the waters and of every creature that creepeth upon the earth, to make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the beasts that may be eaten and the beasts that may not be eaten.
That's a lot.
And some of them beasts we still don't need to eat. Now, I know God had laid all of that out because remember they were still making sacrifices. Okay. They were still making sacrifices. And of course, we no longer have to do that because Jesus paid that price. But some of these things that we still don't need to eat. Now, I know in other countries, people do eat them, maybe because they're, at a point where that may be all that they can eat.
I ain't eating no grasshopper.
Well, like I said,
you bring a plate full of grasshoppers, it's going to stay on.
Some people, that. And look, like people like to eat
ants, chocolate covered ants.
People like to eat squid, but it said here if it got more legs than one, you're not supposed to eat it.
Let me tell y'all
I don't eat squid.
So now
I eat only fish that got fins.
Okay, Red Lobster. Here we go. Now, many of what the Bible describes and what we know now, that many animals are scavengers.
Yeah. Not
that they're now looking for dead carcasses, but they are by that makes them opportunists. If there's something that gives them the opportunity, anything that dead in the water or in our lakes get cleaned up. You know I love me some catfish, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
We love some catfish, but catfish are
scavengers.
Scavengers because they dwell around the bottom. I fish for them tight line, go straight to the bottom, and then when I see something, pulling my pole, I know now this catfish right here. But not on them brims. Listen to this food list that they really are commonly considered scavengers, feeding on maybe other decaying animals or waste or decaying matter. Sometimes we eat them, humans eat them in some cultures. Catfish, carp, crab, lobster, shrimp. I'm sorry for saying that wrong. Shrimp, crawfish. For all my Louisiana fans, down on you. Bluegill, And some bother me. Tilapia. Wild varieties often consumed by human birds, turkeys.
I thought that tilapia was not a God-made fish. It was a man-made fish.
We don't.
They claim that they hybrid.
Yeah, GMO. They invented that fish for production, fast production, because folk love and white fish. They call it white fish and tilapia because they can produce that fish real fast. Well, same thing with chickens. You know, they produce chickens really fast. A lot of people eat chickens, but sometimes, let me call out the fowl: turkey, chicken, crow, duck, vultures. Turkeys eat insects. What is carrion? See, carrion is something that may have garbage. And almost anything available. Turkeys will eat. Chickens, known to eat insects, worms, small animals, and carry on. Ducks, many species, consume decaying plants and animal matter. Crows, rarely eaten today, but used to be eaten, but historically eaten in some places. Then there's a land animal. Pigs, possums, raccoons, bear, goats. People consume these, but they consume garbage. Pigs are often called nature's garbage disposal because they eat slop.
Lord, I know they did because I was on the farm. That's what we fed them. At least we knew what we were feeding.
We ain't gonna condemn.
At least we knew what we were feeding them.
Reptiles. Man, I can eat me a snapping turtle.
And that homegrown pork was pretty good.
Alligator. Insects that are eaten. Crickets, grasshoppers, ants, beetles, the larvae, mealworms, other creatures, snail, frog. I ain't gonna eat no frog legs.
Yeah, I know some people like them.
Some species of jellyfish. Interesting how God is naming these things, and there are some foods that people eat or don't eat today, based on what God said. Now,
that's true.
Now, how do we navigate this? Because there are some people, you're not supposed to eat no pig. No, you're not supposed.
Well, there's some cultures that
I love ribs. Of
we know that there's some cultures.
There's beef ribs and there's pork.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
We always, to eat fish, chicken, and turkey.
Y'all ain't saying much. Y'all ain't saying much tonight. I know that we gotta eat something.
That's why I pray over my food before I eat it. If I got to eat some turkey, I'm gonna pray over it.
And let me say this.
Let it be nourishment to my body.
That's what we have to do.
And if I get to the point when I start getting older and you can't take that stuff, you have to let it go. So God got a way of bringing us back. He got a way sometimes bringing us back to what he said, to leave that stuff alone. Think about it.
Okay, let me put this in your spirit.
Because it's causing high blood pressure.
I no longer have any of my wisdom teeth.
Neither do.
What about you?
No.
Okay. Most people have to get their wisdom teeth pulled because they'll grow in sideways. But hundreds and even thousands of years ago, people had their wisdom teeth and they would grow in correctly. We stopped using many of our wisdom because those back wisdom teeth were used for grinding, because most humans ate grain. They would eat the vegetables.
The hard vegetables. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You haven't seen no fat caveman. That's true. That's true. Most of them, they had diets. They were agrarian people. Very little meat. If they did eat meat, some goats or maybe some lambs. But listen. What is God doing? What is he saying by giving them orders now? This is what you eat and this is what you do not eat. You don't want to be defiled. They call it being defiled or defiling yourself.
Well, let's just say, cause she over there fixing some chicken and shrimp now. Cook on, girl.
Go on and eat your chicken and shrimp. Go on and eat. I'm not telling y'all that you got to boycott Red Lobster. I'm not saying that.
I'm not doing that.
But here's what I am saying. But the procedures that we have for cleaning whatever we eat
that's right.
is better now than it was back then.
Back then, correct.
In some cases.
That is so true.
Yeah, mass production.
No kind of sterilization, no kind of,
Yeah, and so we really do not need to eat the processed foods. We and a lot of our foods are processed. Mm-hmm. So what are you saying, Reverend Stiggers? God, since there was none back then, God is the CDC.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
What does CDC stand for?
Mm-hmm. A Center for Disease Control.
God is the CDC. Mm-hmm. Because him telling them what to do and what not to do, what to eat and what not to eat. Mm-hmm. Listen, germ warfare is something too. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people want to, some nations want to kill our folk by pardoning put pardoning in their diets. Mm-hmm. But sometimes mold, fungus, disease are spread, just like we had COVID-19. Listen, they were spread because from person to person. I don't know who was the main culprit, a bat or a pig. It somehow signaled that, but in some countries, people eat bats. And then the disease or the microorganism in them can mutate and start killing folks. There's all kinds of viruses. God is trying to keep his people safe from dead viruses they cannot see.
Now, Stephanie, you don't need those pig feet. You don't need them.
Come I can't see.
On the page. You need pig feet. Everything can be done in moderation.
Listen, you eat what you eat, but I'm telling you what God was doing, because God was trying to keep his people safe. Now, over in Egypt, they ate all kinds of things that God says now defiled. Those people around them, the Canaanites, Jebusites, all of them, they are eating things that God told his people not to eat. For the reason is that God said it. You be holy as I am holy. Mm-hmm. Now that's the reason he gave, but he does not have scientists in this group. He does not have people who can tell others about the microorganisms, bad microorganisms that can mutate and go from person to person. That's why he calls you all of those things. God is trying to see himself. Tell them what to eat and what not to eat, because some of these animals can carry or be the host to disease. Mm-hmm. And being the host, when they eat, then it goes to the human, then from human to human.
That's right.
And so God is trying to keep infectious diseases from traveling from one person to another through their diet. God is good.
Oh, yeah.
Because God knows. Mm-hmm. And intricate as God was in making sure that they made the furniture in the temple, how they built the temple, and all of the sacrifices that they were making, God wanted to make sure, now let's clean you up. Let's make sure that you're on the outside and on the inside. Let's make sure things that you don't make you sick. That's right. And cause your whole family to perish.
Yeah.
Isn't that small of God?
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm sorry. Shrimp, little bitty scavengers.
I love them.
Catfish, big scavengers. Now, I know they
moderation.
I know they fillet them and everything.
Eat salmon.
So
salmon is better.
This is why people sometimes read, and some people will make a religion out of
They will.
what God
They
said
will.
about eating and what not to eat.
Right.
They'll make a whole religion out of it.
Mhm.
And I ain't gonna eat no snake. Lizards. Grasshoppers. No. Hopper grass. Well, I didn't know what to call them. Grasshoppers or hopper grass. And so God is really protecting his people. In chapter 12, he then goes through purification after childbirth. And then in chapter 13, rules about leprosy.
Sorry.
When they developed diseases that there was no cure for. We good?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions? Put your questions up. Because I can't see them on the phone while we're recording. Mm-hmm. But Sister Stiggers can see them on her computer. Mm-hmm. Put your questions up. What questions do you have about what God is saying about what to eat and what not to eat? Westerners, they had beef from cattle. They would eat cattle. But if push came to shove, they'd eat a horse too. My. Okay. All right. Let's go to chapter number. Any questions over there? Let's go chapter number 12.
12. Leviticus chapter 12, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed and born a man child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. According to the days of the separation of her infirmity shall she be unclean. And in the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. And continue in purifying 3 days. She shall touch no hallowed thing, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purifying be fulfilled. But if she bear a maid child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation, and she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days. That's 36 days. 60. 60 is what? 60?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And when the days of her purifying are fulfilled for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation unto the priest, who shall offer it before the Lord and make an atonement for her, and she shall be cleansed from the issue of her blood. This is the law for her that have born a male or female. Mm-hmm. And if she be not able to bring a lamb, then she shall bring 2 turtles or 2 young pigeons, the one for the burnt offering and the other for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for her, and she shall be clean.
Now, okay. Unclean didn't mean sinful, nor did it mean dirty. God created male and female, and he created procreation. And he ordered us to be fruitful and to do what? Multiply. Now, if God did all that, and then now in procreation, the woman just going to be unclean and thought ill of. No, instead, what we have got to understand is that God has certain laws. Plus, mama need to be with that baby.
Well, you need to tell corporate America and all these
and connect. They trying to get it.
He was just saying for 66 days she need to have opportunity
to bond with that
baby, to
feed
heal,
the baby,
to get clean, to get back to us. Now I wish corporate America, I wish they would give you 6 weeks maternity leave, maybe 8 weeks maternity leave, but not too much longer.
They need to look. Some people have to stay out as long as they need to stay out. Mm-hmm. And so what God did, he set up a rule. Listen. This was not to derogatorily out the woman, but what this was to do was to protect the woman and the family. That mom and that baby needed to bond. The baby has a weak immune system. Mama got a weak immune system after childbirth. So God set up law. Now it's called that they are defiled then, not nasty, not sinful, defiled. because that was the language that they used. And man has taken that and just ran with it.
Yeah.
That's why we're glad about the New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
And God said, be ye holy as I am holy. And I remember when we had our children and the things we had to do, I was to go get them. Chill stayed inside. Go get this. Go get that. What about this? What about that? And so, listen.
Yeah, my mama got on to me. So
to work together.
Babies.
What she said?
Ooh, she don't get in the water. Don't do this. Don't do that. She really, but it was kind of hard to be able to do that, you know, to just stay home.
But I want you to think about when if you read chapter 12, it is all God is protecting the woman. He's protecting the family. There's all sorts of diseases that we are subject to, especially when our immune system is weak. So the plan that God has, whatever he calls it, the plan is to get us healthy and whole again.
I guess the thing, and I'll ask, I guess the thing that, you know, that have me wonder is that he did not want the woman to enter into the tabernacle while she was going through her purification process, while she was healing. I can see some good in that. You know, a woman does need to get to her strength and be able to rest because you're, you know, dealing with taking care of the baby and the child, and then your other duties.
Amen.
Other duties that you have, taking care of the household and everything else, you know. So I can see that, but I guess the thing that it says the ritual impurity simply meant a temporary state of disqualification from entering the tabernacle. It was associated with the loss of life fluids, blood. And back then, like you said, things were just not as purified and all that kind of stuff as it is today. So you don't want any chance of her getting some type of infection from whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because your wounds still kind of open and they're not healed fully.
Listen to this. So, it was a temporary status.
It was temporary.
Everybody knew that it was a temporary status. It wasn't going to last forever. And this temporary status highlighted her role as a young mother and relieved her of certain duties that she would probably have to do. And
they thought about postpartum, you know, they would think, you know, postpartum healing. We know what women go through postpartum, not just healing their physical body, but mental state as well.
Now we go into leprosy. These are diseases. These are diseases that no doubt that the Israelites had to deal with. But yeah, sure, God is still good. He's still working with his people, but he needs them to be knowledgeable about some things themselves. So 13, rules about leprosy.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, when a man shall have in the skin of his flesh arising a scab or bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh like the plague of leprosy, then he shall be brought unto Aaron the priest, or unto one of his sons priests. Shall look on the plague in the skin of the flesh, and when the hair in the plague is turned white, and the plague in sight be deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a plague of leprosy. And the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. If the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and in the sight be not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof be not turned white, then the priest shall shut up him that hath the plague 7 days. And the priest shall look on him the 7th day. The same thing that they did in isolating those people who were on that ship. That's right.
What did they have? What did they have? They had
where they came up with the root when they had COVID.
No, did they have
Ebola? It was the latest thing.
It was Ebola, but this was another type of.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Begin with an H.
Yeah.
So it was another.
Hereditary.
It was another type of disease that nobody wanted this ship to dock at their port. And so when they took the people off, then they had to put them isolated 16 days. I guess they got that from God. Because that's what these priests are doing.
You know, even in the onset of COVID,
yeah,
they were trying to figure out things. They said if you had COVID, you need to be in isolation or whatever for 14 days, and then after that, you know, test yourself ever so often.
Then some folk got walking COVID. Yeah, like a bad cold. Mm-hmm. We haven't heard the last of that.
No,
but the for disease control. Look at measles outbreaks, mumps, rubella. We almost had measles kicked. Yeah, we had it lit until folk start saying, "I don't want them to inject my baby with nothing."
And polio is on the rise.
You got injected. I remember when the nurses from the health department would come to school, come out of school. Everybody got the little lump of sugar.
Yeah.
Everybody got it. And then one time, everybody had to get a shot.
Yep.
I remember when we, as parents, they said there is a meningitis outbreak in Douglasville, Georgia. And we had to take our kids down to the gym where the health department going to be, give your kid a shot so they won't get meningitis. Took them right on down there.
And Mike turned that place out.
Turned it out.
Little Mike turned it out. I said he got that from his mom when I was asking.
He was asking the question. He said, "Dad, are they going to stick me? There's a needle. I see a needle. Are they going to stick me? No, don't let her stick me. Don't let her stick." And then when she stuck, he said, "Oh, you stuck me." The whole gym.
They fell out. Nurses in there.
It's crazy.
He was in drama then. Thank God that actor made him money now. All right, let's move on.
Hey, and look, my wife, I told my wife, I'm taking my kids down there. Sure. I left her at home so she could do what she needs to do. Did we have Braylon then?
No.
We didn't have Braylon? Okay. So God is good. I'm looking at the things that he is doing to protect the people. Some of these things, many of these things are still appropriate for us today. Isolation. Make sure that that person that has that disease, that they stay far enough away from healthy individuals, or you will have the disease.
Or if you're immune compromised, you need to,
you will have this disease flowing throughout the camp. And it'll be runaway like it did with COVID. All right, keep going.
5, and the priest shall look on him the 7th day, and behold, if plague in his sight did stay, and the plague spread not the skin, then the priest shall take him up 7 days more. And the priest shall look on him again the 7th day, and behold, if the plague be somewhat dark, and the plague spread not in the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is but a scab, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the scab spread much abroad in the skin, after that he have been seen of the priest for his cleansing, he shall be seen of the priest again. And if the priest see that, behold, the scab spreadeth in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprosy.
Okay, look.
The priest was like the doctor.
That's what I was going to say. So there must have been lots of training going on with the priest. Now understand, God really wanted Israel to be a nation of priesthood, a priesthood nation. Everybody is a priest, and he was going to teach the world through Israel. But they had some sin kept God from making the whole nation a nation of priests. But the priest was in like the doctor showed you said, Jesus did that.
Yeah.
Jesus told that when those 10 lepers came to Jesus, said, "Heal us, Son of David, have mercy on us." I believe that's in Luke chapter, I'm thinking 10 or 15. Jesus said, "Go show yourselves to the priest." As they went, they were cleansed. As they went, as they were obedient, they were clean. Listen, in this text, as the children of Israel are obedient unto God and do what God says do, they are clean. They are at one accord with God. They can worship. They can praise God. God is pleased. Eat the right things. Don't defile yourself. It's a little thing, but keep the commandment. Do not defile yourself. Because sin does defile.
Yeah. Continue.
You're verse number 9.
12.
Okay, go ahead.
And if a leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that hath the plague from his head even to his foot, wheresoever the priest looketh, then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that hath the plague. It is all turned white, he is clean. But when raw flesh in him, he shall be unclean. And if the priest shall see the raw flesh and pronounce him to be unclean, for the raw flesh is unclean, it is a leprosy. Or if the raw flesh turn again and change unto white, he shall come unto the priest, and the priest shall see him, and behold, if the plague be turned into white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean that hath the plague. He is clean.
All right. You know, there's
the rest of that.
There's not, I don't ever hear of people having going because there's cure. When they put people in jail, when they put people in, you can put somebody in a drippy, mildewy place, and that is their habitat, and it turns out right. That's not good. That's not good. Many people found that during COVID, we left buildings and went home. They would come back to those buildings that would be mold growth because there's no air circulation. There's no movement of the bodies in there. I can remember our basement. I said, oh, it smells a little damp down here, when it got a dehumidifier that pulls that damp air out of my basement. Did it at both churches. And so that when we come back, we don't have to scrape mold and mildew off the walls. If you leave a building by itself to itself, it will decay and fall in.
Amen.
We have to frequent places. We have to be caretakers of places that we dwell, so that they are clean too. Cleanliness next to godliness. We have to do that so that those places don't become places that are infested with all types of and disease. Good. Read 14 and we'll stop there. Because just as God said, you could pronounce them unclean, you could pronounce them clean.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, this shall be the law of the leper in the day of his cleansing, be brought unto the priest. And the priest shall go forth out of the camp, and the priest shall look and behold, if the plague of leprosy be healed in the leper. Then shall the priest command to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 birds alive and clean, and cedar wood and scarlet and hyssop. And the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed in an earthen vessel over running water. As for the living bird, he shall take it, and the cedar wood and the scarlet and the hyssop, and shall dip them and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water. These are some distinct things. Whoa.
Okay, now, just stop right there. You can read the rest of it. All the ways that God describes 14, a long chapter. Is a long chapter of leprosy. Who has leprosy? The details about leprosy. God knew. God was a great physician. And then he made sure that the Levites or the priests were taught. They had to teach each other. They had to be taught so that they could recognize what was leprosy and what was not, and pronounce a person unclean or clean. And if they were unclean, then separate them at a place like a leprosy camp. But the priests were also in charge of making sure that that camp got food too. So it was a good little job being a priest. Yeah, you had to take care of the sick, and you had to take care of the well and the living as well. So I'm just glad God set this up. When God says it's gonna be right, I want to thank God right now. God knew better, even when he told them. So what did they do in the heathen nations around them? They ate anything they want. And they also carried disease back and forth to one another, around one another, because they did not have the God of the Israelites to tell them better. And they had rituals that may promote infections. That is awful. That is an awful way to be. God is teaching them, and it's good that Israel held on them for years and years and years. And listen, this is good teaching today. Go wash yourself. Cleanse cleanse yourself. Be ye holy as I am holy. Yeah. And folk need to wash themselves, clean themselves daily, every day. I'm talking about every day. When I came in the house, my mama would sometimes smell me. You smell like who you been playing with. Get in that tub.
You smell like outdoors.
And she would say, you better not get in my bed, because that was her bed. Don't you get in my bed without taking a bath. Because whatever's on you is in the bed. And just like today, there are fleas and ticks and bugs all throughout the woods, wherever people play, wherever people are. And therefore, don't bring it home, because now we got to get it out the house. God knew what he was doing when he challenged his people. And see, then with leprosy, as well as with all the other diseases that might, sometimes that particular animal, what they eat, that creature, that, remember, God told Peter, when he saw that big sheep coming down, 15 and 16 of Leviticus, when we come next week on next Tuesday.
We may be in Vacation Bible School next year.
If we have